In this video, I will show you the context menu and the quick shortcuts. So before in Blender 2.79, you had the obligation to, not the obligation, but it was not really handy to select with the left click and to use this kind of workflow. Blender 2.7 wasn't done for this. So now with the left click selection, we have the right click that is free. And when we make a right click, we have an object context menu, okay? But as it's a context menu, it changes with the kind of selection you have in the scene. So let's say if you take, for example, a lamp, you have another kind of menu, okay? So if I add maybe a Suzanne, okay, and move it here. So if I have this, I have something that is related to this kind of object. So I can change and make a shade smooth, for example, and it will not change the geometry and the same number of vertices and faces here. It's just another way of showing it into the 3D view, something smooth. And so I will do the same with shade flat and come back to it like this, okay? So the same for the lamp, for example. If I select the lamp here and that I'm in a render view, so with Z rendered here, I can change directly the energy of my lamp if I go to the left or to the right, okay? So let's say here we will go into the menu of this lamp. So if I make a right click and change the energy, you can see the energy here that is changing. So this one did change a little. So as it's 1000, it doesn't change a lot, but I can change to, for example, the radius of my lamp, and you can see that it changed the lighting directly into the scene. So something very handy to manage. Same for the camera, for example. If I make a right click, I will have the possibility to manage the camera lens angle, okay? So to change here the camera lens, if I want to zoom in or zoom out directly into the view. So it can be very interesting. But this menu is changing to depending on the mode you are. So let's say if I come into edit mode with tab, okay, with Suzanne here, and I select my vertices by default, I will make a right click and I will have the vertices, the vertex context menu and everything that is related to vertices. But if I select here with edges, I will have the edge context menu, okay? And same for the faces, I will have the face context menu. So interesting to see that whatever the mode you are, you will, same for the sculpt mode, for example. So you have a tool that will change your geometry, but if you make a right click, you will have the radius of the tool or the strand, the auto smooth. So all these features are very good and can very help for your workflow and speed up your workflow, okay? So you have the context menu, and this is really, really good in Blender 2.8 because before in 2.7 we didn't have it. So here the same, you can go whatever the kind of interface you will have a context menu. So if you come here, you will have a context menu that is related to the outliner. But if you are here, you will have a dope sheet context menu. So very good one and handy one. So we will use it during the training for sure. But you have the possibility to make you quick shortcuts, for example. Let's say if you have a feature that you use in Blender often and that you don't remember for any reason, I don't know, you don't remember the shortcut or you want to access to it easily always. So let's say we have here into the features that we have into, like for example, let's take a join, okay? So we have several objects into, our scene, and for join is Ctrl J, okay? So an easy one, but let's say you don't remember it for any reason, or some features in Blender doesn't have any doesn't have any shortcuts, like for example here for the animation, the clear keyframes, you don't have shortcuts here, for example, for that, or for rigid body you don't have shortcuts for this too, and you would like to add a shortcut like this. So you go to this feature here into the object mode and the join, for example, and you will make a right click on it and add to quick favorites. And what it will make a customized menu where you will add your favorite, okay? And you can call this menu with Q. So very quick one, and you will have the join. But let's say I would like to add another one. I don't know, maybe add a cube, or yeah, if I add cubes always, I can add it to quick favorites, okay? So let's say I want to join quickly. I make a queue, and I join my object, okay? And then I move my object. I want to add a cube. I go to queue and cube, boom. And it goes very quick like that. So if you have actions that you repeat a lot during the process of your workflow, and this really depends on your workflow, how you will work with Blender, what you will work with. You will work with animation, you will add a lot of circles to create different shapes or whatever. All these features are customizable with the short quick favorites menu, okay? So very, very handy one that you can add just like that, okay? So let's say you would like to use maybe here into the transform, so you can to sphere, for example, can be interesting to put into the quick menu. You have a lot of possibilities, whatever. Use the quick menu, the quick favorites. It can be very handy to use. So if you want to remove one from the quick favorites, so let's say your quick favorites is full of a lot of features that you did add, you just right click and remove from quick favorites, okay? You can see too that if you have a feature that is already with a shortcut, you can make here a right click and you can change the shortcut, okay? So I really don't recommend you to do that for now, because we will use this kind of basic settings, default settings during all the training, so I don't want you to do that. But after, if you want to customize Blender, you can change shortcut, or you can even, if the feature doesn't have any shortcut, you can add a shortcut to it, okay? So let's say you can assign a shortcut to add a rigid body world and add an active. So if you have here, okay, to add an active, you can there just add a shortcut to it by just right click on it or add to the quick favorite, and it will work too. So let's say I will add to favorite the add active and the add passive. Like this is it will be very quick. And if I just add a cube, if I just use the Q to add a cube, sorry, and scale it up, so just with the Q like that, I can make some add passive for this one and select that one and Q add active, and now I can run my animation, okay? And you can see that it works pretty well. Now I duplicate this object and I have a full animation very quick like that. I can just manage these features with the quick favorites, okay? So don't hesitate to play with that. Everything that is in the menus, all the features that are in the menus here are customizable like this, and you can add it into the quick favorite option. So that's it for the context menu and the quick shortcuts. In the next video we will see the use of constraints.